78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. What can we do to help them? Give more women depression and a handgun to even out the stats. Legalize, unionize, and tax prostitution. Remove the social stigma that it's not okay for men to talk about feelings and cry. The old days of boys don't cry needs to be a thing of the past. Parenting our children well so that they don't then into bullies and then make someone kill themselves. Oh, and firing the school staff that literally don't do anything. Doesn't solve everything, but that should be a good start. End third wave feminism. End rewarding divorce. End the female-centric bias courts. That'd just about do it. Controversial. Yeah. The truth? Absolutely. Sometimes a hug can make all the difference. Do what is necessary to make sure their well-being is taken care of. Healthcare, employment, friendship. Reduce the stigma that men who show emotions are weak. Allow them to talk when they need to talk. A lot of men in my life are too stubborn to admit that they are upset. If you need help, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. It doesn't make you weak, or pathetic, or whatever you might think. If you need help, you shouldn't have to be afraid to get it. You gotta do what is best for you. People will pick on a guy who is sad or crying, telling him he's not a man for crying and stuff. This is bullshit. We shouldn't block our feelings, we should learn how to deal with them. This is the main reason why I'm better being friends with a girl than with guys. I feel like I can really talk about anything and she'll hear me, not make fun of me. Kill us before we can do it ourselves. Let them know it's okay to discuss their emotions and how they feel. You are still a man, a tough man, a reliable man, a providing man, anything, even if you talk about your feelings. Please, talk to your significant others and your friends. It helps. Game nights in local public places. All donation funded. Pizza, video games, board games, etc. Hating feminism isn't gonna fix it. Somehow get them to listen to their mothers, sisters or significant others. There is a reason women live longer than men are. Give us more compliments. Sometimes I'll go months without one, they can really make my day. Do male friends compliment each other at all? I feel like good female friendships involves a ton of compliments and emotional support to build each other up, like way more compliments than the average woman would ever get from men, especially genuine ones, since a lot of the time women will just assume you've only complimenting them to get in their pants. It's okay to be sad, and it's okay to cry. Letting things out is an essential part of the cycle. Holding things in only builds up until breaking point. Counseling is good for everyone. It really helped me when I didn't know what else to do. I am going back soon even though I've been happy for a long time. It's a healthy exercise to run your thoughts with someone who can give you the best positive advice. Smile. If you're a male and are in the life of a young male, show them open love and compassion. Show them that their feelings matter and it's okay to show them. Make emotions a normal part of their lives. I would love to know where this statistic comes from. Every once in a while growing up, don't punish them for showing emotion, vulnerability or asking for help or something, I guess. Make them take a mandatory sex change. End the work is life culture. Make sure they know they're worth more than a paycheck and they have intrinsic value just for being themselves. If people would let me alone, I wouldn't have suicidal thoughts. Keep bashing them over the head with shame. It's doing wonders. I always said that, the men have the life more harder than the women. I have a lot of reasons of that. Women up. That rate is so high because when men commit suicide they ensure it'll actually go through. Men typically do it with a firearm, hanging or with heights, while women use pills and cutting, which is more survivable. Start doing jujitsu. Great for body and mind, good community, can come and go as you please and go at your own pace. Sharing an experience like rolling for 5 minutes with a relative stranger really gives you some positive energy. I'm guessing this stems from the fact that men are generally the breadwinners of the family, which comes with a lot of stress to do well and be successful. They are also the ones typically enlisting to fight in wars which come with PTSD. Teach boys that it's okay to cry. Work on the 8% of people who are downvoting a post for suicide prevention because it's about men. Edit, 15%. Give them something to live for, like the itch to finish Dark Souls 3 or Sekiro. We will still die, just in the game. Easier access to Switzerland. Kill them before they have the chance. As I see the pressure that gets put on men to provide. Lots of times we don't see that they may be tired from their 2 jobs, having to pick up and drop kids off, trying to keep the old lady happy. A lot of pressure gets dropped on men's shoulders, and because men are expected to work like fucking robots for their families, their feelings don't get brought to light as much, therefore creating this seal of emotions, stress, and other mental health issues that eventually cause a man to explode. If any man actually bothers to read this, please, express yourself, it doesn't make you weak. Should anyone tell you otherwise, they can go fuck themselves. Smile. Not all guys are bad guys. Not all guys treat people disrespectfully. Some guys are actually quite nice. Stop telling us we don't/aren't allowed to have emotions. My stepdad always tells me that men don't have feelings, we have feeling. I can't count how many times I've tried to approach friends about what I'm going through and gotten cold fucking receptions. I've been ghosted by friends on more than one occasion for doing little more than having feelings. Men are meant to act like nothing ever bothers them at all, and so we end up bottling it up till it comes out in the worst ways. For me, it's often alcohol. Treat men the same way you treat women. If you go the other way around, the hissy fits never end. Sex. Actually see that endocrine disrupting chemicals are a huge factor in our environment that is affecting men. As a white, straight bloke, there's not much you're allowed to do to help us. Let men get their way every once in a while in a relationship and stop comparing us to a Lifetime or Hallmark movie guy. I am not gonna murder you, and I am not a model with a team of writers. That shit isn't real life. Tell us what you want to eat. Assuming a woman posted this. Stop treating us like goddamn machines and more like fucking humans that have wants and needs that don't meet up with what you want us to fucking do. The social value of a man does not feel high. A blowjob and a steak once in a while helps. The easy answer is that men aren't encouraged to speak about their feelings, or aren't met with a positive response. This is true, but doesn't account for the fact that women attempt suicide at higher rates, at least in the US, UK too, I believe. The discrepancy in completed suicide is overwhelmingly due to method. Men are significantly more likely to hang themselves or use firearms, women usually self-poison. Gender differences in suicide. The question is, why do men use more successful methods? Is this a reflection of some secret will to live for women that suicidal men don't possess, or something else? Fear of pain or gore? Cultural associations with violence and peace? Concern for whoever finds the body? At the same time, no matter the answer, simply trying to get men to overdose instead of jump off a building isn't a feasible or acceptable intervention. The best start would be a fundamental addressing of poverty. Normalize men showing their emotions. Normalize men going to therapy. Normalize men crying. When we shame men for showing their emotions, we create a culture that encourages men to seek more dangerous outlets for their emotions. Make the idea of men being emotionally open not a cultural sign of weakness or being unmasculine. The current mindset when men display anxiety, sorrow, etc. is that they should man up, which just leads to bottling up those emotions until it bursts. Make it socially acceptable for men to talk about their feelings and not be ridiculed. Suicide rates will likely go down since they no longer have the pressure to bottle it up. I think most people are addressing the disparity from the wrong angle. Men are already less likely than women to be suicidal and attempt suicide. The disparity in number of people who die by suicide more comes from the fact that men tend to choose more violent and thus more successful means when they do attempt. If you wanted to reduce suicides by men, you probably would have addressed stigmas around suicidal thoughts and mental illnesses like depression. Programs to encourage and improve the treatment of mental health would probably not completely address the disparity though, since it'd likely reduce suicides across the board. You would also need to change the culture to address the more toxic features of modern masculinity that encourage men to be aggressive and physically violent in order to make them less likely to, for example, own weapons or be primed to think of violence as a solution to problems.